Unfortunately for them, they couldn't get by Riverview, so the #1 team in the state, Naples High School, out of the playoffs in the first round. A disappointing year for sure. The annual 100 holes of golf took place today at Naples Beach and Golf Club. 90 golfers started at 7 a.m. for the Marathon of Golf. The Eastern Conference Championship was won by the Everblades tonight 3-2, and they're ready to go to the Kelly Cup Finals. That's it from Tico Arena. Don Brennan for ABC 7 Sports. Howdy. When Matt first started riding, he didn't reckon he'd be roping doggies. A 50-win season and a Coach of the Year award aren't enough to keep a coaching job in the NBA these days. You're out of here, Rick Carlisle. It is called chew, dip, snuff, and cope, and it can cause cancer. It says so right on the tin. And Trot Nixon of the Red Sox is trying to quit.
It's going to be a test, but if I do beat this test, that I may have an opportunity to spend a few more years with my son and other kids that my wife and I may have. Just a pinch between your cheek and gum can cause gum recession and painful skin graft surgery. Reasons to quit right there, you would think. My dentist, he knew that I did spit tobacco, and he'd always keep a steady eye on it, make sure nothing was going wrong. Between the nicotine and the habit, there needs to be a replacement behavior when the dipping comes to a halt. I have some stuff that's it's like a herbal snuff. It has no nicotine, no tobacco in it. When you try to quit, and you've done it for 15 years, you try to quit, you got to have something in your mouth. You're used to having something in your mouth all the time. Trot's story about chewing tobacco really hit home with me because I, too, have been chewing tobacco for 20 years now. And when I read his story the other day, I had just quit yet again. Trot already mentioned the tobacco and nicotine-free herbal snuff he is using as a surrogate. People are going to hear that I quit dipping, and they're going to say, "Well, he's got something in his mouth." No, it's not. It's not chewing tobacco. It's an herbal snuff. It looks like it, but it's not. Trying to quit dipping. I'm Don Brennan for ABC 7 Sports. Here's the deal. You want to be an Olympian or just a world-class athlete of any kind. The problem is you work out hard, but you feel like you're spinning your wheels. Sound like you? The Miami Dolphins made Dolphins fans' wishes come true back in the perfect season of 1972. The head of the Major League Players Union was in Fort Myers today to talk to the Red Sox, and afterwards Donald Fierce said that he would not be surprised by anything, even the steroid policy being changed before the labor agreement is up in 2006. As that Boston fan would say, the Warren Sapp era is over. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Sapp had spent his whole career with the Bucs, but he signed with the Raiders Saturday as a free agent, and he says this may be the perfect match. Right, but they do have a big fan base, but right away they know. They've been through it. So they were in Hurricane Andrew. They've seen the worst of it, and they knew right away that they had to do something.
It's wonderful.
All right, Sharon, we talked with Larry Salters of Ticketmaster, and he said the problem was tickets for the Marlins went on sale on Thursday, and there's only 2 business days, Friday and Monday, between that. So people who didn't get their tickets yesterday because they gave misinformation or weren't at home to receive the tickets had to come to Pro Player Stadium to the ticket box office to get their tickets. And so far, we've heard no complaints of people who did not get their series tickets. From the World Series in Miami, Don Brennan for ABC 7 Sports. Thanks a lot, David. Unfortunately, we were supposed to follow Mariners state champion marching band around, but because of the lightning and rain, they left before their halftime performance. Instead, Susan Lee pointed out 2 sisters who were cheerleaders tonight for opposing sides. The Twins Major League pitchers really like the way Maurer caught last year in spring training. He started last year with the Miracle. He was an all-star, moved up to Double-A. He will be with the Twins this year. Very good catcher. And also, locally, a local bodybuilder, Harold Cherry, placed 10th in the super heavyweight division tonight in Miami Beach in the National Bodybuilding Championship. A vicious attack in the NHL last night has left one player with a broken neck and another possibly facing criminal charges. The attack was actually retaliation for another hit earlier in the game. Running back Archie Griffin. Archie joins me now. He's in town for the Southwest Florida Buckeye Alumni Club, and he's going to speak tonight. But first of all, how proud are you with all the great athletes that come through college football to still be the only 2-time winner?
Well, I'm extremely proud to be a 2-time winner, but, I think somewhere along the line somebody else is going to do that. But what I'm most proud of is that I had the opportunity to play for some great teams at Ohio State.
Every year, the Florida Everblades hold their teddy bear toss during the holiday season so they can then deliver the toys to children in need throughout Southwest Florida. Tonight was toss night once again. The Everblades took on the South Carolina Stingrays at the Germ. Fight broke out early. The Everblades win the battle, but they lose the war. Very sad. You got to score a goal in the teddy bear toss night. 2004 Heisman Trophy was awarded tonight in New York City. USC quarterback Matt Leinart was the front runner by a slim margin, but Oklahoma's Jason White could become only the second 2-time winner if he prevailed. Here's how it played out.
Get to come up here and thank you very much.
The day after Immokalee High School won their first ever state title in football, the celebrations continued as the town held a parade to honor their hometown heroes. The Collier County Parks and Rec Department honored the state champion Indians as part of their Christmas Around the World event. The football team is the toast of the town right now.
And I think we proved that.
Proved it, they did. Barron Collier High School grad Travis Tidwell is a punter on Division II Valdosta State's football team. Valdosta State played for the NCAA Division II championship today against Pittsburgh State in Florence, Alabama. Then Tidwell doesn't get the chance to punt on this one because they pull a fake, and he had to do a little acting job. The fake worked, they get the first down, and they get the win. Valdosta State is the Division II champions. They win it 36-31. The Associated Press has learned that David Wells is closing in on a 2-year, $8 million contract with the world champion Boston Red Sox. The deal would contain performance bonuses that could make it worth $18 million. 1 year ago today, the Louisville Cardinals and Rick Pitino took on Pitino's favorite player, Billy Donovan, and the Florida Gators. Today, they went at it again as Donovan tried to get his first win against his former coach.
Pat Riley, the great NBA coach, once told me that the players must embrace the team concept. And when they become a team, winning will just be a byproduct. And that seems to be the case with this Immokalee team, because Coach John Weber told me this is not the most talented team he's ever had, but it is the most cohesive. And that led to them winning 17-15 in their first ever state championship game. It was a 111-pound tarpon that was caught by Danielle Zapay, so she reels in $174,000 for her team. No sign of the bushes. I believe they're still in Kennebunkport. However, unfortunately, no sign of any fish today either. 59 boats set out for a $174,000 first prize. That's right, no chump change. That's why it's billed the world's richest tarpon tournament. We will be back here tomorrow for the second and final day of this tournament. We will show you who wins, who has the biggest fish story to tell. Live in Boca Grande, I'm Don Brennan for ABC 7 Sports. Back to you, Dave. Miracle General Manager Dave Burke, the Mayor, Bill Hammond. Quite nefarious characters, if you ask me. Their scores, fraudulent. So I put on my Magnum PI starter kit, and I went undercover.
The Mayor, I don't believe it.
But I took the entrance exam, and Chef Allen said, son, you're not going to make it. Maybe you should try our new golf school over there. So I wanted to try out and be a Dragonette too. They gave me my own dressing room and everything, but the clothes I wore, inappropriate, they said. But 18 girls were appropriate, and they're the new Dragonette dancers. I'm Don Brennan for ABC 7 Sports. You and I had talked recently. I've never seen a hole-in-one live before, and today I got to see a great one. It was phenomenal to see Tom Watson do it. Day started out great. It was a little cold, but the golfers helped get it heated up right quick. But everybody who loves baseball loves this time of year. Twins and Red Sox will start off at 7:05 tonight at City of Palms Park. Katherine Hepburn may be out there tomorrow. They're looking for Spencer Tracy.
Just maybe. Boy, he did look like him, didn't he?
He does. He really does. And I asked him if anybody's ever told him. He said they have. John McEnroe, the Lord of Tennis. He's the defending champ here at Nuveen. He's the points leader on the Success Tour so far this year. And he's one of the most notable tennis players of our time, no doubt about it. He's a great showman. He's ultra competitive. And not only that, everybody comes to see one of his monumental temper tantrums. The wind was the story of the day today. Not bad right now. It wasn't bad at all, not hurricane-like by any stretch of the imagination. But early on in the day, it was blowing harder and made it tougher for the early groups. As the day went on, the wind let up and the scores came down. Well, John Henry used to own the Florida Marlins, and he still has ties to their training facility. It's relatively new and updated, so there was talk that Henry may take the Red Sox out of Fort Myers. I got a chance to talk to him today about that. We're here with University of Florida head coach Ron Zook, the man who replaces Steve Spurrier. Coach, what's it like to replace a legend?
Well, you know, you don't worry about that, Al.
The Florida Everblades opened the season with a rousing 6-2 victory last night against the Texas Wildcatters. They had so much fun, they figured, hey, let's do it again tonight. The Florida Flame are officially underway as they began their first NBDL training camp today. 48 points separate 4 drivers as NASCAR is in the final lap of their season. Next week is Homestead, which will decide the winner just as the new format was made to do. I love it when a plan comes together. This was supposed to be the season. The Dolphins were supposed to make it all work. They only had one cold weather game scheduled, today's game in Denver, and the other cold weather teams all had to come to Miami during the really cold months. But alas, the schedule was favorable, but the talent was not. And it was fairly good weather even in Denver. There's Santa Claus making his appearance. Santa Hoof's making his appearance. First quarter, A.J. Feely hits Chris Chambers. Dolphins are up 7-0. He buries it.
The Dolphins fall to 2-11. They lose 20-17. It's official now. Dolphins wide receiver David Boston has been suspended for 4 games after testing positive for steroids. The good news is David Boston is on the injured reserve list and out for the season, so he will not miss any games, but he will forfeit 4 games worth of salary, which amounts to $1.34 million. No chump change. In a game that has bearing on the Dolphins' draft position, the Cardinals battled last-place Niners. Dennis Erickson, we'll talk more about him in a second. Dorsey helping his friends on the Dolphins because the 49ers win 31-28 in OT, and the two teams, Dolphins and Niners, are now tied for the worst records in the NFL, 2-11, which helps the Dolphins' draft position. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers also traveled west today. The 5-7 Bucs took on the San Diego Chargers. Former Buck Keenan McCardell is happy with the Chargers now. We'll get to the west. Chargers win their 7th straight game, 31-24. The Lowell Lock Monsters are the AHL older brother of the Florida Everblades, and last night they did not set a good example for their younger brothers. They brawled last night in the first period of their 5-1 win over Norfolk, and it was a brawl for that the fans and the players will not soon forget. Both coaches were ejected, along with 7 players. In all, 177 minutes of penalties were handed out. At one point, there were 2 young boys. You could probably see them right there, cheering wildly right as the fight was happening in front of them. It was ugly on all fronts. Some good news, though. Former Everblade Chad LaRose scored one of the Lock Monsters' goals. Charlie Weis is the imaginative offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. Weis is also a Notre Dame grad. However, he did not play for the Fighting Irish football team, but the two have now agreed on a 6-year deal worth $12 million. Weis will be the coach, so I think it will be announced officially tomorrow. He'll take over for Ty Willingham, who was fired just recently after a 21-15 season. Willingham